How's she going? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Well, today it's wiring day for the hand warmers on the CanAm 500 XT Max. Let's go over and get her done. Alright, we've got the right hand grip heater, the left hand grip heater, and the thumb heater, and this controller that I'm going to locate. Well, I'd like to locate it there, but that's kind of crowded on that side, so I might put it over here. And we need to wire all that together with this wiring harness. So in the manual for the CanAm I was looking, and they say there should be, under this cowling here, there should be an optional 12 volt DC wire available in the wiring harness. So what I'm going to do to make it easier to get at everything is I'm going to take the windscreen off the bike, and then I'm going to take this instrument cluster off and see if maybe I can get at that to discover where that wire is. Okay, to start I'm going to take the windscreen off. So we take this little cover off this nut or bolt, I mean. Alright, this mirror, it has to unscrew and won't swing around because I have my GPS mount here, plus the windscreen is in place. So we're going to take the windscreen off. The windscreen just pops off. There's some rubber grommets here it just plugs into and they pop off. I'm going to take my GPS mount off, like so. Now the mirror should spin off. There's a couple of screws right here. I think I'm going to let those screws go rather than take this bracket off, because that bracket is mounted under these bolts that hold the handlebars in place, and I don't want to loosen those up. So I'm just going to let these go here. So that comes off. I'm a staunch believer in you shouldn't have to force something to get it off. But because this bracket that holds the windscreen is on there, then this won't pull up past there. I guess I do have to take that off. Alright. But I think it's only the two front ones here that we have to take off. So that shouldn't be too bad, eh? Now this should just pull out or fall off. Now maybe this can come off. There. Much better. Okay, down under this cowling and all, I found the two wires. That's a switch 12 volt supply. I want to use a switch 12 volt supply because I don't want to have power on the hand grips when the key is turned off, in case I leave the hand grips turned on sometime and I don't want to kill the battery, right? So definitely has to be on a switched line. I've already tied into this this 12 volt switched line to tie in the horn for the bike. So I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out where I'm going to locate the controller for the heat grips, and then run all that wire back into this general area, and then I can make the tie-in. Alright, after much deliberation, I decided I took my GPS mount off of here, and I'm going to put the heater controller right on here. So take these Phillips screws out of this controller body. Oh. Alright. One of the reasons I decided to put the controller on the left hand side was because of the way the wiring comes out of the controller for it to be right side up. And now that I have the backer play out, it's interesting to look at the back of this controller. It's totally encapsulated in an epoxy. So that kind of makes me feel good that it is in fact waterproof. Geez, you think it was heart surgery, eh? The way I'm concentrating here, biting on my bottom lip and everything. Now the trick is not to over tighten these screws, because you don't want to break anything. Alright, so now I have my wiring harness going here, 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 and there. Okay, I think next step now I'm going to try and tie wrap all that stuff together as best I can. Okay, I'm getting ready to make my electrical connections now because I have the wires all strung along here and kind of have tie wraps where I want them, and everything goes back in underneath this cowling. So in order to tie into my 12 volt supply, I had to make up some pigtails. Right there. So on the 12 volt supply line I have my female connector. So I'm plugging the male connector on that, so now I have two female feeds. And on the ground, that's the switched supply, I'll plug my male connector into the female connector, and now I have two male connectors coming out here. So now what I can do is I can take my feed here, that's a male conductor going to the horn, plug that in here, and then I can take my male conductor, which is the ground, going to the horn, and plug it in here. So now if I turn my key on, my horn works again. And with the key off, the horn doesn't work. So that's what I want. And now I end up with two feeds here to supply my grip heaters. With the grip heater kit came this extension cable. It has a fuse in it. Now I think I mentioned that that fuse was 20 amp. In fact, when I check it now with my glasses on, I can see it's only a 5 amp fuse, which is probably more than enough. So I think all this wire that I have here, since it has a really nice custom connector on the end of it that fits all the wiring harness, I'm just going to leave that all together with a tie wrap on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these two stake-ons off the end here, and I'm going to put on the red one, I'm going to put on a male conductor, and on the black one I'm going to put on a female conductor so I can make this connection. Alright, when you look at all these connections, it's interesting the markings they have them. This one says plus, this one has a little circle on it, makes it look like maybe it's an adjustable supply, and this one has the minus, and this one has nothing. So when I was checking through, I had to go look at the instructions. The plus goes to a hand warmer, the minus goes to a hand warmer, and then pigtail off that hand warmer is this connector that goes to the thumb warmer, and then the plus minus 12 volt supply goes into this one that marked, looks like it's a variable controller. So it's kind of interesting the way they mark things, but nevertheless that's the way they mark them. One good thing is that symbol that they have here matches the symbol on the wiring harness that goes to the 12 volts on the machine. So we're going to plug that in there. And those are nice connectors, hey, they lock together, so that's good. So we got our 12 volt wire hooked up. Now, this is the wire coming from the thumb warmer. I believe this is it right here. It doesn't matter where you connect this, but I want to just try to be a little bit organized. So the thumb warmer is going to go on this pigtailed one. So we'll plug that in there. Something like that. And then this right hand grip is going to go in to this pigtail, the same one that goes to the thumb warmer. And then the left hand grip, wherever that connector went, I know it's in here somewhere, there it is. That one is going to go to this connector. And you can only plug them in one way, but I don't think the polarity is an issue. Okay, everything is hooked up. I've got my 5 amp fuse in there. So I'm going to plug the minus side in first. So there's the minus side. Black to black, red to red. And now we can turn this on and nothing should happen. So now if I turn the key on, I've got 12 volts. So I turn this on and the light comes on that says that it's heating up. So I'm just going to, in fact what I'm going to do is put my heat gun on it. Right now that says 7.9 degrees. I have this set on high. Okay, I had these running now, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe. Not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. The thumb is up to 10. That grip is up to 10. And that grip is at 10.8. So they are working. I'm going to shut them off now because I don't want to run it too long. I don't want to kill the battery. Okay, so it looks like everything's working. That's good. I got everything tied up nice. Now what I have to do is tidy up this wiring under the cowling, get that all stuffed down in there, put everything back together. She's packed in there pretty good, I have to say. Now we put a little dust guard on here. And now we can put this cowling back in place. There it goes. So that sits down on there pretty good. I like that. Then we put this piece on. That clips in there. Okay, so that all fit together pretty good. So now I'm going to put the bracket back on here that holds the windscreen, and then we'll start putting the windscreen back on. Alright, so that's that. Well, I finally got hand warmers and a thumb warmer on my bike, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Took me longer than I thought because I was nervous about putting those grips on the bars. I was nervous on that right from the giddy up go. If I had to do this all over again, I would have ordered the clamp-on ones or the screw-on ones where you don't have to glue them on, because as you saw, I ended up with a struggle to get those grips on. But they're on there now and they're good and solid. They certainly don't move, so that should work good. And then it was a pretty straightforward process of wiring them up. I was pleased with that. This kit that I got from Kimpex was really good. The connectors were nice. They fit together, made good connection. So I'm going to have a link for these hand grip warmers in the description below, so you can check into that if you ever care to put them on your bike. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, thumbs up me. Leave me some comments, please. Let me know what you think. If this is a good, interesting video, or would you like other videos similar to this, or if you would rather just listen to the radio. Take care, folks. I hope everybody has a great week. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.